everybody. Welcome to my live stream. I know I haven't done this in forever. So today I'm going to do a little Code Wars. Code Wars is like a code challenge thing, kind of like Hacker Rank, these different coding, like competitive coding challenges. Now I'm not super great at them, but I really enjoy doing them. And so I thought today I'd just jump on and do a few of them live. These things are really cool for learning, especially if you're just learning how to code. It's a great way to kind of test your skills, test your thinking a little bit. It's really fun. So I'm just going to jump right in. This stream is a little bit late as far as like late in the day. I wanted to do it earlier in the day, but things didn't happen. So most of the time when I do these streams, they are going to be more towards the middle of the day, so they're not so late for the folks on the East Coast that want to watch this. But anyway, today I'm going to jump right in here. Let me switch screens. Okay, and I've got Visual Studio Code open here. And what I'm going to do is go to this page right here. So I'm going to codewars.com. First, I should probably give a little bit of a shout out to livecoders.dev. You can see that URL there down below. So I just got accepted as a member of the Live Coders team. So it's a team that was started by Jeff Fritz. Really cool team of really awesome people. I'm probably the most boring streamer on the team so far, but that's cool. I don't care. I'm really honored to be a part of it. So be sure to check out livecoders.dev or search for the Live Coders on Twitch. It's a really cool group of people who do some really amazing stuff. It's really cool, so I kind of wanted to give them a shout out and thank you for accepting me into your group. And got the URL down there. And like I said, I'm gonna do a lot more of these streams just kind of during the daytime. Now, one of the things that I like about these challenges is they're very simple. So basically, you are just testing a method. You're trying to create a method. So if you've never done these challenges before, let's make this a little bit bigger. Basically what they do is say something like this: complete a method or function so that it converts dash underscore delimited words into camel casing. And so basically you're just trying to get this done, and you go through here and you hit test. My head that's on the camera, you can't see the test button, but there is a test and then attempt. There's two different stages on this site. So I just signed up for Code Wars not too long ago. So most of these are very easy challenges that you're going to see today. But one of the things that I've noticed is when you hit test, it does a test, probably one or two different tests. And then you'll do an attempt, and an attempt has a bigger suite of tests. Unfortunately, you don't have access to those tests. That's the only thing I don't like. I have played on, I don't know if it was Hacker Rank or Top Coder or one of those sites where they would actually give you the tests that they're going to run. So you have all the test cases, and you could do it if you do the code challenges like the way that I do the code challenges, which is I create a console application so I can just, like, I'm faster in an IDE, and for me the workflow is just faster to be like enter, 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 you know, chop in some code, hit enter, oh, it's breaking, and then when I get something that I think, well, this probably will work, I'll take that and then drop it into the actual browser, because the browser-based IDE is fine. However, I'm not a huge fan of that workflow. So it would be really cool if we could have the tests, because you know, we have sample tests right here, but they're not, they'll throw things in there that are different. So this is one of the ones that I picked out to do, converting strings to camel case. I like working with strings in C#, in Go, and Python. Everything I kind of like working in strings, so I just thought I'd pick out this one. Let's go back to the instructions for this. So the instructions say complete the method function so that it converts dash or underscore delimited words into camel casing. The first word within the output should be capitalized only if the original word was capitalized. So one of the things that we can do here is I'll just copy this. Put it in the comments so that we know what this method should do, right? It should turn this into this and this into this. So I'm gonna load up my chat screen here, because I'm sure folks will be screaming out in chat. That's another thing that kind of sucks about streaming this late like I am, is not as many people on there to heckle me, but I'm sure folks will show up. So I've got this window here. Where is my chat? It's chat.restream.io, something like that. Okay, so I'll just keep a little chat window here open. So one of the things we'll do here, just jump right into it, is I'm just going to copy this. It's a static method. We're just going to drop this right into here. And of course it says you can't do this. That's all right. We're going to convert it. Now here, so I'm using .NET 6, what used to be called .NET Core, and then using Visual Studio Code with it. In .NET 4, basically anything that's implicit, so most of your top-level statements and everything, they've blown it away. As you can see here, we have console write line hello world. That's one line to do hello world. I like to convert it if I'm going to do some testing or something different. I like to just hit convert to one of these, and then this doesn't have to be public yet, but I like to convert it into an actual program and have all those top-level statements in when I'm doing testing and things like that, which we might write some tests for this, we might not, I don't know. We'll need to. But, oops. And I just installed Tab 9 on here. Tab 9 is really cool. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I've talked about this. I'm not compensated by them or benefit anyway. They just asked if I'd talk about it since I use it. And it's really cool. So I just installed it on this computer. It's probably not going to be quite in tune until I write some more code, but we'll see. So let's just do a console write line. And we'll say to camel case. And for the argument, we'll just do the stealth warrior. Oh, and see, tab 9 found it out of that comments. Terminal here. .NET run. Oh, gotta go into my project. .NET run. And we'll compile it, run a quick test. And I forgot quotes. This is a string. Okay. So this is basically like a spot check test, right? We'll take the console write line hello world out of there, and we're just spot checking. You know, the stealth warrior needs to get converted to this. Now if I do .NET run, we can see that it is not being converted to that yet. Still looks exactly the same. So let's go back to the rules real quick. Just jump back in here. Let's start with dash. So this method or function says dash / underscore delimited words. So we're going to just look for some dashes. I'm thinking of splitting it into a string array and lowercasing it. Actually, do string array and then uppercase that first character. That's probably how we'll do that to start. So we know we got string coming in as string. The result, we're going to return a result out of here. So one of the things I will do is create one because we're going to be appending. So I'm going to say string result equals string.empty. Looks like tab 9 is doing some great work here. I don't know what all the convert stuff is, but what I'm going to do is append this. I'm going to do something, we'll call it temp string, string array, new string. Hey, that's awesome. We'll do not length plus 1, but we can do string length. And this should create, I am always such a great coder when people are watching. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick spot check here to make sure that the stream is up and live. Seems like it should be. So check, yes, okay, cool. So now I've got the string result. This is the actual result that I'm going to send back, and I've got a temp string here, new string array that is the length of that string. So I'd say I should probably split it up. So I could actually just split it in here. Could do like string split. Now, one thing that we're going to run into is if it's an underscore delimited string, then this string split is going to return nothing. So for now, I'll say if temp string length is greater than 1. Check out that code completion. It's awesome. So if it's longer than 1, we know this is dash delimited. So for this one, we should probably for each through it. I found myself when I do these challenges is, you know, there's two different ways, of course. You can always use for each. Oh, I didn't even notice my music wasn't playing. You can always do like for each string item in string, or you can do a for loop. I kind of like to do a for loop. I found myself doing a lot more for loops with these. And look at that. Code completion. So here we can just for through it and then do some stuff with it. So what we want to do, this one, think about this a little bit. So this very first one is lowercase here, so we want that to be lowercase, but we want every other one after that to be uppercased. So could do like an if statement maybe. Say, we know this is dash delimited, so if, we're not out of an exception, if it's that very first one, then our look at that temp string. Okay. Then we'll just append temp string to result. And we'll just have it as it is, how it's passed in basically. Otherwise, for all of the other elements that follow, we'll say result plus equals, and it'll still be temp string I. However, we are going to want to break that up a little bit. So we'll use substring. This, we'll say to upper. This first one, the very first element. Upper, and then plus from there, or whatever. And this one plus one. let's just run this real quick. I don't even know if it'll run, but nope. Camel case, not all codes return a value because I need to, of course, return result. Clean this up a little bit. All right, look at that. We already have something here. So with this loop here, we are passing in this first dash delimited nonsense here and saying if it's the very first element, right? So it's the very first word, which in our case will be the, then that one just pass it as it is. If it's capitalized, pass it capitalized. If it's not, it's not. Actually, we can test that case right now. Run it. Yep. So if it's capitalized, it'll pass it through as capitalized. If it's not, then it doesn't. And then for all of the words after that, so that would be like stealth warrior, those ones we're just going to do a substring on it. We'll capitalize that first letter of the string, append it to our temp string, and send it out. Now if we try this, I already know it's going to fail. It might pass a test, but I'm pretty sure this is going to fail. Test. Yeah, and it fails because we haven't done the underscores yet, which we're going to do that in our else block. This thing really quick here. And just doing another check of my streaming stuff. So I don't see anything in the chat, so I just want to make sure that I'm like legitimately streaming this stuff. I could be, I didn't even think about it, but one of these, I could be echoing this entire time, so let me turn off the sound on this. I swear I'm not new at this. It's very impromptu. I was going to do this earlier today on my lunch break, and then some other stuff came up, so very impromptu. But so we're not right now we're not looking for underscores, but we say if the temp string length is greater than 1, then it has been split. So that means this little dash right here actually was in there. So now we'll work on our else, and for our else we can just basically do this exact same thing. However, we will split it by underscores. So this temp string, we'll do just temp string 2. We'll get real creative. And what's cool is you can refactor this stuff later. This is all pretty ad hoc. Temp string 2. Temp string 2, all through here. Now, theoretically, we can combine this into 2 different methods, right? I mean, we probably should. Or, I mean, we could combine the 2 methods into 1 method. We probably should do that. However, tasty ice water. That's my drink of choice for streaming. Tasty ice water. I've got a cup with my name on it that I use every single day for this. I feel like the more I bathe my brain in water, the better it works. Doctors agree. Also, I just like it. I like water. So let's go ahead and throw that other test case in here. The one with the underscores, and we'll see what it does with that. Run. Hey, looks like this one worked. So the underscore stealth underscore warrior should be converted to this. Looks like it is. We may be done here, in which case I'll grab another challenge. But copy, jump in here, and I'm going to just copy this entire method and let's run our tests. We're green. And it just says test pass. There's not a lot of detail on what passed and what didn't. However, remember I said there's that second stage. Let's hit attempt. And you can't see it because my friggin' mug is in the way, but when you hover over test, it says test against the sample tests. When you hover over attempt, it says attempt to pass the full test suite. So let's see what the full test suite says. Oh, and we're broke. Interesting error. Expected string length was 30, but was 31. So just looking at these strings, I should have pulled out this underscore and capitalized this, which kind of highlights a flaw in my program if both underscore and dash have both been added to the string, which is what I suspect may have happened here, because I do see some capitalized things. So I'm thinking that in this test they pass both underscore and dash, most likely. Let's try the attempt again. Let's see if they're randomized tests or if they're, yeah, they are randomized, and it's the same thing. So my guess is it's going through the code path, it's finding a dash and saying, oh, this is a dashed one. You know, that's what we have here. Oh, temp string, it's a dash one. We'll just do a dash thing. So let's build our own test case for this thing. Let's do both of these and see what it does. So now we have both a dash and an underscore. And it does not do it. So I need to completely change my logic here. It's basically what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking that they're dropping in a test. I'm guessing, I should say. It's all guesswork. That they are dropping in a test in here that has both of those things and saying, hey, expected string length, because that's probably the first thing they check is string length. And yeah, you didn't do this. So simple tests passed. Random tests did not pass. Kata tests passed. So let's tear it apart. Thinking that my original approach probably wasn't the best for this. So maybe I should do something where if string contains, split it type of thing. So let's throw another method in here. Another static. Maybe we should pass that array in, see what type of array it is. Split it based on that. And then pass it through twice. Seems like the long way around, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to say static string array. We'll just call this string splitter, and it's going to take in a string, not a string array. We're just going to call that str. We're just going to pass in that string, and we'll see if it contains one of the other split. Let me think about this here. Let's put it in code. If it contains a dash, split it. If it also contains underscore, split it again. Seems like something that would work. I mean, if contains dash, well, I guess we could do or, but I'm not gonna throw the or in there. just going to run it through twice. So if string contains this, split it. I'm just going to put all this into a big, the code suggestion wants me to trim it. I'm not going to do that. If string contains, let me think about this. Yeah. If it contains that, then we will return a string split of dash. I mean, I guess I could kind of do this without a whole other method, but if it doesn't, we'll go here. So we'll say else if string contains underscore string split underscore. And I don't even think we need another else for that. We'll just do it anyway, because we have to return some kind of string array. I think we might get the code paths not returning value thing out of this, but let's see. Gotta return something, right? End of file expected. Where did I forget? Oh. Okay, so let's just run it through this string splitter method. We'll try splitting this thing twice. I've got another way we could attack this that I may try. Let's see. So temp string length 1. I think it's always going to be 1. So what I'm probably going to do is we'll just comment out all of this crap right now. And our temp string is now going to be temp string, string splitter, string. And I just saw the error in my logic here. I can't really run it through here twice. It kind of seems silly anyway. So just to explain my thinking, as I was thinking, it's kind of crude, is run it through here, split it by dashes into an array. If there's underscores, and then like pull it back in a string array. And if it has underscores, run it back through so it splits it by underscores and then combines those two string arrays. The more I think about it, the sillier that sounds because I will have to take each element of the array, combine them into a single string array. There's all sorts of problems that could happen there. I don't like it. So we'll just forget the last 5 minutes or so happened. Because yeah, and it's okay on these code challenges. It's okay to especially for your first attempt or first couple of attempts, it's totally okay to just fudge things and make them weird and do weird stuff. You know, you're not trying to get the fastest algorithm, you're just trying to solve the problem. Then you can come back later and refactor and get the fastest one. You can try to make it faster. You can cut those loops and things like that. I'm thinking there might be an easier way to do this. Let me think about it for a minute. Just break up the characters. You can do a character array or something. All right. So I still got my string result here. Build another temp string. Actually, I could I'll change this to temp string. is to indicate that it is a temporary string. Let's do another for loop on that entire string. And I can see here in my code suggestion it's saying, hey, you want to do a character array? It must have heard me speaking into the microphone or something. Probably not. But let's just build a string. Where we just go through the characters. So for each string length, so whatever that length, it's going to link, or it's going to loop. So once again, I'm using a for. I just said for each. It's not for each. I just said for. So once again, I'm going to use a for loop because I like using a for loop just for this int I right here. This little integer. So when you're doing a for each loop, it's super easy, right? You can just say for each string in your string. Oh, string, I don't know, we'll call it our string in string. And you can go through that, but you don't have any of the indexing. So it's super fast, super easy, but I like the indexing that you get with a for loop, because then I could do things like if I wanted to say car C is string I, so I have that little indexer there. So I'm going to say if string I is equal to this, then we're going to do something. If it's a dash, I think we're going to remove that dash. What do I think about it here? We'll remove that dash and just append the string part of it. How about if I just go in and say, if we have a dash, we'll remove it, and then the next character, we're going to capitalize it. We'll just do that through all of them. Then we don't have to worry about the uppercase or lowercase in the beginning either, because that doesn't really matter. Whatever it's passed in is what it's going to do. So say or string, oops, I is equal to an underscore. So if it's a string or an underscore, instead of do something, I'm going to say if it's a string or an underscore, remove it and capitalize the next letter. Otherwise, push it through. So I can say temp string. Temp string plus equals. Code editor knows what I want to do. This one is going to be a new string, and in here we're going to say upper string plus 1, right? Or yeah, plus 1. So we're going to uppercase that next character. Upper. This is going to have to be toString. Ooh, this could work. Maybe. Now I'm trying to think of the edge cases here, because clearly they threw some at us. So I'm just going to talk through it like I would a rubber duck. But you all folks are my rubber duck today. So we're passing in a string. We're saying this temp string. We're just going to create an empty space for a string. We're going to for loop through the string that we passed in based on its length. We're going to say so it's going to do character by character through that entire string. And it's going to say if this character is a dash or it's an underscore, we will just append the next character. Whatever that next character is, we're going to make it uppercase and append it. If it's not either of those things, then we're just going to pass it through and we're going to append that to the temp string. Let's run this and see what it looks like, or if it works at all. Oh, it does not. Oh, instead of returning a result, I need to return temp string. Cannot convert from int to gar. 18. So I'm not sure what that means. Let's debug it. Let's see where it goes from there. This is a brand new install. Everything on here is a brand new install, so I don't even know if it's configured to do debugging. I haven't really written much on here. No, it's not. So, let's see. I'm just going to look at the code. Let's console write this really quick. So write string str I. Just run that. Okay, so it's starting to spit out some stuff here. That's one. What does that mean? Wow. Interesting. Why on earth is that an integer? 464696969646. I think it's because I'm an idiot and I added in the wrong place. Here. String I plus 1. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. So that's why it's coming out in here. Okay, so temp string. Put the plus 1 out there, so it just appended. Let's see. Well, that looks pretty good, except for we've got repeated coding. That's why I thought string plus 1 would work. Huh. How can I get around that? So for those of you watching, I have no idea how many are watching right now. Don't see anything in the chat, but for those of you who are watching later, you're looking at this code. Let's zoom in. Zoom in. I think. So I'm going to once again rubber duck through this. And I'm saying, oh. So I'm doing string I. So with this one, I'm saying new string with the next character and appending it. And then it's coming to that next character on the next iteration of the loop, seeing it's not either of those and appending it down here. So I just do I++ right here. It's risky, but it just might work. So that way we're appending that next string, the next element in the array. We're capitalizing it, appending it to the string, and then we'll increment it. Let's see if that works. Before I explain it, make sure. Yeah, it does work. Okay, so what I'm doing is we're looping through this array, character by character. We're seeing, okay, this is a dash or an underscore. So let's capitalize that next letter, append that to our temp string, and the string is just appending. As that for loop is going, it's just saying character, 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 send it out as a string. So what we're doing here is just saying if it's a dash or an underscore, we're going to say +1. We're going to append that next character, capitalize it, put it on the string, and then we're going to hit the incrementer so that we don't evaluate that next character. I have pretty good faith in this. The only case I think that may screw me up is what we just ran into, where if we throw some integers in there. That, I think, will blow the whole thing apart. Or maybe not. I mean, it just kind of passes them through, it looks like. What if I throw an underscore in front of an integer? Doesn't care. So this might work. Let's try it out. This is considerably smaller than the solution that I had a minute ago, right? So let's jump in here. Wipe that out. Put in this. Fingers crossed. Oh, there's always so much anxiety right here. Passed all the tests. So we passed the kata tests. I'm going to try it a couple more times just to see. Now, I haven't spent a whole ton of time on Codewars, but I noticed on HackerRank, their tests are randomized, so sometimes it'll pass, and then you click test again, and it'll fail. So yeah, I'm just kind of going over. So now I'm going to click the attempt button. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see because my face is covering it. Let's do another attempt. And it has passed them all. Boy, that is annoying. That little UI there. It's kind of annoying. So we passed the kata tests. We passed the random tests, passed the simple tests. So it says submit your solutions. Oh, and then I can view past solutions once I do that. So submitting it. It's the first time I've submitted it. And now it shows me, look at that. See, that's some good stuff right there. That's way better than what I did. Just regexing it. If I were better at regex, I probably would choose that most every time on string stuff. But yeah, that regex one is awesome. Let's see this one. They did a concat string select. Oh yeah. So this is basically a fancier way of exactly what we did, but it's one-liner. A lot of these folks are putting in one-liners that are just sweet. But here's a one-liner that does what we just did, which is concatenating a string, splitting it by both of those, which that's using the string split method. I didn't even think about splitting it by both of them when we were doing the original one, and then just doing a select on it. And saying, give us this. Yeah, that's clever. Here's another one using string builder, which was one direction that I was going to go. And yeah, they're going through. If it's either of those, append. String builder append. Otherwise, uppercase it. That one's interesting. So this one says if it's not a dash or an underscore, then append it. If it is, oh, that's clever right there. Plus I. I'm thinking about that, and I wonder how they're not iterating back through. I guess they are. Now that I look at this. So if the string is not a dash or an underscore, then they just append it. And if it is, then they do car to upper of that next string. That's exactly like we did. This is a little bit more elegant than the way I did it. And then when it goes back through, it's just going to keep appending the next element as it goes through the list. Oh, and I can upvote these. View this. That's clever. Absolutely. This one is also clever. I'm just gonna share the love. This one has the most clever votes so far. Probably because it's just a one-liner with regex. Good. Let's start boning up on regex a little bit more, for sure. I had another one that I was looking at. And I don't remember if I have the link for it. Oh yeah, there's another one that I was looking at. Highest and lowest. Let's check that one out. Because I think big in this. This one in here. These are all kata training basically. So there's this one. And doing another spot check here really quick. So this one, it says, in this little assignment, you're getting a string of space-separated numbers, and you have to return the highest and lowest number. And I think I can do that. So let's try it out. This one, we're going to call it high and low. Passing in a string, seeing what's high, what's low. Let's do another one. I still got some time here. I started a little late in the hour, and I kind of planned on doing this for an hour. So let's just do another one. Code here or throw a towel. So this returns a string. So the numbers are passed in as a string and returned as a string. Interesting. Did I read that right? Yeah, space separated numbers, so it's a string. Oh, and it needs to return. All right. We've got our little test cases here. High and low should return 5 and 1. This one should return 5 and -3. All right. So we'll take in our string of numbers, and we'll say temp numbers. This is going to be a, oh, they just want an actual string. But I'm going to do a string array. Temp numbers equals numbers split by space. And then we'll for through it. For each string number in temp numbers. We need that blank string again. So we'll say string return equals string empty for now. Oh. There we go. So now we'll say return numbers. We could use string join. We're not going to. We're just going to append it. Number. And then we'll return numbers. Okay. And this is another spot check. Console, right line, high and low for our argument. Drop in this. Which right now it should, down that run, it should just spit it out exactly as it was. Oh, we need to add a space on there. Alright, now we're officially doing nothing. Ta-da! spot check. Looks like everything's good. So I'm streaming this thing, basically checking this. So I'm streaming this thing primarily to Twitch, but also to Twitter, Facebook, I think, I don't know, and LinkedIn, a bunch of different places. I'm probably just going to mostly focus on Twitch. So if you're watching me on LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube or wherever, be sure to follow me on Twitch, because that's where I'm going to do most of my streaming. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow too for All Hands on Tech. So be sure to follow Pluralsight Live on Twitch if you want to see that. I'm going to build something kind of cool. So with this, I haven't really thought out how I'm going to do this. I just kind of wanted to pass through. So what I could do, int top number. So basically we want to take these numbers. Before I start on that, let's throw our test cases in here. Okay, so we know because of these comments here that this needs to be 5 and 1, this needs to be 5, -3, etc. Got to display the highest number and then the lowest number separated by a space. So int top number, we're just going to say 0. So if number is greater than or equal to top number, then we're going to say, yeah, top number equals number. If it's not, we'll do nothing. So what that'll do is each time we iterate through this set of numbers, the highest number should go there. So let's just run this as it is and see if it displays 5. Oh, that's because it's a string. Int. Yes, there we go. Cannot implicitly type. String int. What are you talking about? Oh. So what I should do is say int our number equals this. We'll just do the conversion once because I don't want to convert to int a bunch of times. That is going to slow us down a little bit. So now we can say our number, and then top number equals our number. This should work. Perfect. However, we're not doing anything with numbers yet, so let's say return numbers. Oh, that was a weird autocorrect. Return numbers equals top number to string. Actually, I don't know if we want to do that there because then it's going to probably append it every time, right? So maybe we'll do that down here. So we don't want to outside the loop. So for now, we'll return top number to string because we're string return. Do it that way. That should work. So .NET run. There we go. 5, 5, and 9. Which spot check, those are the ones. So now we need to just do the same thing with bottom number. Int bottom number equals 0. I feel like there's going to be a snag here. Look at that JavaScript syntax that I put in there. if our number is less than or equal to bottom number, I don't know how that's going to work with 0 when I think about it, then bottom number should be our number. So if our number, and let's say our first number is going to be 1, so 1 is not less than or equal to bottom number. So then bottom number becomes 1, etc. That should work. String plus space, because we up here it shows a space. Space plus bottom number. It's a string. I don't know if I need a carriage return in there or not, but let's spot check it. So here we have 5 and 0. See, there's the problem, is that the bottom number is certainly not working. Bottom number should be 1, not 0. So, and yeah, the bottom number is second. We could do n not 0. Maybe that's the answer. If it's not 0, we'll stuff it in there. No, it's still, because 0 doesn't exist in this one, so if our number is less than bottom number and it's not 0, yeah, why is it displaying as a 0? Then maybe I should set bottom number to 100 or something, because all of these are less than 100. But that puts a constraint in. If we start having numbers over 100, that's not going to work. See, this is working here, but where do we set this upper limit? Who knows? So I'm going to say, actually, I think I'm going to stuff that first number in there. We're going to refactor this a little bit. I'm not going to do this bottom number hack. Because like I said, if we put in anything over 100, if our values are over 100, then the whole thing breaks. What I think I'm going to do instead of this is say for, again, with these code challenges, I like to use for more than for each. I like having that index. Chop this out of here. Bye-bye for each. You have your spots. And I'm really curious when I solve this one what kind of one-liners people are going to come up with. Like I said, I'm not that great at these. I just enjoy doing it. And I don't spend a ton of time on them, as you can see. But if I ever wanted to do it competitively, I would probably spend a lot more time on each of these, getting them down to those one-liners and just golfing it like the competitive coders do. Okay, now the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to say if this is the first one. So if our number is, all right, we're not doing our number anymore, are we? Length. Convert. It's not going to be numbers, it's going to be temp numbers I. That is what we're working with now. We're just looping through that. So in our number, okay, so this all should be the same. So if our number is equal to temp numbers I, we're going to say temp number 0. So if it's the very first one, so once again we're doing that first one. If it's the very first one, then let's make it the bottom number. And I'm going to have to if our number let's see if my thinking is correct here. .NET Run, breaks, can't be applied to strings. So I guess I am going to have to run convert again, but that's such is life. Look at that. There we go. So we don't have that silly limitation. Silly JavaScript formatting. So let's rubber duck it a little bit here. We're saying we're passing in this string integers right here, creating return numbers, which I no longer need. Just rip that out. Creating a string array out of temp numbers, and we're splitting it by space. So every one of these that has a space, splitting it up so each number goes into a string array. And then I'm declaring a top number of 0, and this top number is just temporary. As soon as something's bigger than 0, it becomes a top number. If we go through the iteration and another number is bigger than that, then that becomes the top number, etc. Same with the bottom number, except it works in reverse. However, what we're going to do is just make that bottom number, and actually I don't even have to do the if. I could just say bottom number equals temp number 0. Let's cut just a little bit of code out of here. That gets rid of one of our ifs. And then we'll spot check it real quick, make sure that, I mean, it is late. I've done a full day of work. I could be totally off on this. So, we refactored again. So now the bottom number is going to be the first number, number 1. And that's just going to assume, you know, that's a good starting place. And then we're going to use for to loop through that array. We're going to say, you know, temp number's length, iterate through the whole thing, and we're just going to say our number, which is whatever number we're currently on in this iteration, converting temp numbers I. If it's greater than or equal to top number, then we make our number top number. Syntax is terrible. If our number is less than the bottom number, which it could possibly be because our bottom number starts out with the very first one, then we'll replace bottom number with the new lower value. And then we return top number to string plus a space, bottom number to string. Now, one test case that I just thought about, what if we have a large number here, like 8? Then our bottom number is going to start at 8. So this will make sure, oh, see, is that the largest number and not the low? Yeah, okay. So here I started, all of these start with 1, which is the lowest number. So you want to remove that case out of there. So if it's like 1 is the start of each one, then maybe it's just starting with that first number and holding it. We don't really know until we prove it by putting in an 8 here. We know that 8's more than 3, more than 4, more than -5. So yeah, that's just basically proving. So I think this thing's ready to at least test. I don't know if it'll pass the full suite of tests, but I think it's ready to try. So, test button. Here comes the exam. Let's go. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Oh, it does. There's 2 example tests. So, I don't see anyone in chat, otherwise I would say vote on this, but do we refactor it, throw in a few more cases, or do we just punch it? I say we're going to punch it. We're going to hit attempt. Oh, and it fails. Expected string length 5, but was 4. Expected -1, -1. Ah. Negative. This one seems like weird. Maybe this should do in 64 instead of 32. But it looks like there was a couple of negative values posted in there. I'm going to add this test case because I was able to see from their test that there's 2 instances of -1, and it was expecting -1, -1. Can't convert type long to int. Okay. And it's still showing 0. So 0 is technically more than -1. So if we just pass -1, -1, then it's doing 0. So starting my top number at 0 is an issue. So maybe I just start the top number with that first number also. Yeah, now I'm getting -1, -1. So maybe starting at 0, because if a negative number, if you only have a set of negative numbers passed, then 0 is going to be the top one. So I'm just going to do this. A little hacky, a little bit. It's fine. And let's run the tests again. Return. Okay, test. Let's see what we got. Oh, we passed those. We did that last time though. Now we're doing the attempt. Yay! Correctamundo! You may take your time to refactor and comment your solution. Not this time. But we passed all the tests. So, hooray! Hurrah! Awesome! Great! Let me check. Let's see. Okay. I don't see anything in the chat, so for all I know, I'm not even streaming right now. I don't actually know. I hope so. Because you're probably, if you're watching this right now, you're probably watching a replay. Oh no, I'm on. It's like, there's some, oh yeah, there's several people watching. So some of you are watching, just not chatting in the chat room, which is fine. Most of you are going to watch this later on YouTube or Twitch, but yeah, we did the second one. And since my family is home, it's getting close to dinner time, I'm probably going to shut this down. Yeah, I need to close that because it's going to echo. So thank you, all of you who came to watch this. Thank you if you're watching this afterwards. That's also awesome. I'm going to submit this really quick before we go, because once you submit it, you can look at past solutions. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Parsed. Numbers split, select int parse, return parse to max. So basically, this is, yeah, this is clever. I'm upvoting that as clever because it's definitely clever. So what this is doing is just creating a variable named parsed, another array, kind of the same thing we did. Doing the split, selecting everything out of numbers, parsing it to int, and so that's just creating this int array right here, and then saying parsed max, plus parse min. That's way clever. Look at that. 2 lines compared to my more than 2 lines. So that's super clever. That's pretty cool. This one's using string format, so very similar, splitting it, running a select on it. String format, that is also clever. I like it. Wow. And this one's even more interpolation here. Select and parse to array. So this is just dumping everything into a nums array again. I see. So it's splitting the string and then directly into a select. These are really clever. I like it. Very cool. So, as time goes on and I do more of these, I should be able to come up with something this clever quicker within minutes. Here's a pretty long one. This looks pretty good. Let's see. So we've got high and low, bar min, bar max, array, list, string to int array. This is working with negative numbers, secures digit, multiple digit number extraction. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very cool. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming to my stream. It's been really fun. I'm going to do more of it. Like I said, I'm going to do more of the streams during the daytime so that my East Coast audience can watch, because right now it's like 9:30 or something on the East Coast, and I know I have a lot of East Coast friends and followers who probably aren't watching live streams at 9:30 at night. But I think I've settled on my time being somewhere around 10 or 11 in the morning Pacific time to kind of spread out, and maybe some special like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Pacific time for my friends who live in the EMEA region, as they call it, which is like Europe and India, Asia, places like that. So I will be back hopefully this week. We'll be back to do another one. We'll do a few more of these challenges, and then I'm going to come up with some kind of cool project that we can go through. I'm digging into .NET MAUI right now, hoping to get good with that, and we might build a .NET MAUI project together. We'll open source it, do a bunch of streaming. It'll be fun. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming to my stream. Make sure and go to livecoders.dev and check out some of the other Twitch coders on there. Like I said, they're a very smart and interesting group of people who are way worth checking out. As I've got the link, where would it be? Yeah, the link would be down there, I think. For livecoders.dev, check that out. Follow pluralsight_live to see my Pluralsight live streams that I'm doing on Twitch. And yeah, most of this stuff is going to focus on Twitch. Honestly, that's where probably a lot of stuff will focus. So we'll be on there. I'm like I said, the URL's there. I'm probably going to redo this thing again. I'm really indecisive when it comes to my stream layout. I kind of want to do something simple with green screen again. So I might do that, or I might keep this. I don't know. Let me know. Send me a whisper, send me a tweet, send me a whatever. But anyway, thank you for coming to my stream.